In our health beat, the number of Americans being diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease is going up. An estimated 5.8 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's. And by 2050, that number could reach up to 14 million and cost this country over $1 trillion in healthcare costs. Here in California, Alzheimer's is the fourth leading cause of death. We have more people living with the disease than in any other state, but less than half of those affected have been formally diagnosed. Heather Cooper is the president and CEO of Alzheimer's LA. Her organization serves LA County and the Inland Empire, providing free care and services to individuals and families. Heather, welcome, and thanks so much for being here. Tell me about the statistics in Los Angeles in particular, and in California as a whole?
Absolutely. So in LA, we have about 240,000 people who are living with the disease currently. And in California, 670,000 living in California. And we know that for every person living with the disease, we have an estimated 2 informal family caregivers.
Right, just here in Southern California, 240 living with Alzheimer's and 400,000
in LA, right, 400,000 caregivers,
locally.
Yes.
So is this an epidemic that is being underreported?
Absolutely. Not only because of the number of people living with it today, but because of the aging population, we expect this number to increase by 30% by 2050. So we are going to see this this explosion of people who have the disease and are caring for people with the disease, and our healthcare systems aren't ready to help these people.
And women are particularly affected, right?
Yep.
In terms of the disease and in terms of caregiving.
Absolutely. Women get the disease more than twice as much as men, and they are also the caregivers for their entire families, for every member of their family.
Is there any science to explain why women are more affected by Alzheimer's?
You know, I don't think that there is. We can make some assumptions, including the fact that women tend to live longer than men, and the greatest risk factor for Alzheimer's disease and dementia is age. So as women live longer, they're more likely to get it.
Though there is early Alzheimer's, early onset.
Early
that's
onset.
Also a problem, and that can happen how young?
So it can happen as young as in your 40s or 50s. Anybody under the age of 65 who's diagnosed with the disease we consider to be early onset. That's much more rare, but it can also be very aggressive.
We're talking about caregivers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stress on caregivers.
Absolutely.
Are they being diagnosed enough and treated enough for their own stressors, depression?
So no, and that's actually an area that we pay a lot of attention to. We not only support people living with the disease, but we particularly support caregivers living in LA, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties through a number of different ways, from caregiver education classes that we know that we have evidence that helps them reduce depression and anxiety and learn coping mechanisms and how to help their loved one with some of those challenging behaviors. But we also do things like provide caregiver wellness days. So we have 2 coming up in June. We have one on June 8th in the San Fernando Valley, and we have one on June 21st in East LA. And we will even provide respite for certain members if they need to be able to have somebody take care of their loved one so that they can get away and come have a day that's just for them.
Talk to me about diagnosis and your outreach in terms of getting people to go out and get screenings.
So this is a really big problem, and it depends on the community we're talking about. In some ethnic communities, stigma is such a problem.
Really?
Yeah, it's a serious problem, especially in African American, Latino, Asian Pacific Islander communities. People don't get diagnosed early enough. So we are actually working with a number of our healthcare systems here in California to get the systems to build in screening mechanisms so that when anybody goes to the doctor for an annual checkup over the age of 65, the doctors can do a really quick, simple 90-second or 3-minute screening to see if there's any signs of early stage symptoms so that we can get them into services and we can identify a family caregiver.
I want to thank you for coming in. If you'd like more information, alzheimersla.org is the website to go to. And Heather, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, Lisa.
It's a really important topic, and you do great work. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Really pleased to be here. Thanks for letting us come.
Oh, please.